Hi, I'm David and this is Humble Keyboards. This video is about musical scales and where they come from. It's useful to think of music as having three main attributes: rhythm, harmony, and melody. Rhythm determines music's relationship with time. Harmony describes the relationship between notes that sound in the same moment, as in the chords we discovered in the Harmonic Overtone series. And melody is about sequences of different notes, played over time in some rhythm, and the relationships of those notes to each other. To compose and play melodies, we need a set of notes to choose from, a scale. We saw that the Harmonic Overtone series starts with an octave, and then contains another note in the middle before the next octave of the fundamental. The musical distance between any two notes is called an interval, and the name of this interval is a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an important interval for many reasons, and we'll talk about it a lot. If we go looking for a set of notes we can use to make melodies, one way is to start with the interval of a fifth. It's the first non-octave note in the series, and unlike the octaves, it sounds like a different note. But two notes don't give us enough variety to write very interesting melodies. We can add more notes to the melodic collection we're building by reaching out for the fifth above this note, and the one after that, and after that. Starting here with F sharp, we find C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp, and those are all of the different notes available on the black keys. If we use octaves to bring those notes close together within a single octave, we have a 5-note collection called a pentatonic scale. Lots of familiar melodies use the notes of the pentatonic scale and can be played using only the black keys. There's both consistency and strong tension between harmony and melody, because the pitches that we find for scales by exploring outward in fifths are similar to, but not in tune with, the pitches that we find by exploring the Harmonic Overtone series. The Overtone series gives us pure intervals that are related by whole numbers, but the tuning of the notes on a keyboard is a compromise that doesn't quite match. The white keys play the notes of the familiar 7-note scales of Western music. And the pitches are found the same way. If we discover the pentatonic scale starting on C by moving upward in fifths, and then add one more fifth above and another below, we find the notes of the diatonic C major scale. Many, if not most, melodies can be played using just the 7 notes of the major scale. As an exercise, make 12 pieces of paper with note names on them and pick pieces at random. Use intervals of a fifth to discover the 5-note pentatonic and 7-note diatonic scales on each one. Remember that for the 7-note major scale, one of the fifths is below the note that starts the scale. For example, beginning with A, we find A, E, B, F sharp, and C sharp. We can use octaves to move those notes together and discover the 5 notes of the A major pentatonic scale. To find the 7-note scale, we reach up another fifth to this G sharp, and down a fifth to that D, which I'll put here. Then we can use octaves to move those notes closer together, and discover these 7 notes of the A major diatonic scale. There's been a lot of study about how to design and learn efficient fingerings for these scales. I assume that you want to play keyboards in a rock, pop, R&B, or hip-hop band, and if you do that, you will very rarely need to actually play literal scales. But notice that once you use all 5 fingers, you need to move your hand to reach the next notes. Sometimes it's best to tuck your thumb underneath your fingers to reach toward your little finger and lever your hand along, or reach over your thumb with your fingers to reach the notes beyond it. You can experiment with that and look for ways to play the notes you want to play that are comfortable for you. It's possible to reach all 12 notes available on the keyboard by moving up or down in fifths. After the 12th note, the circle closes and the pattern repeats. This is only possible because of that tuning compromise from the intervals of the Harmonic Overtone series. Actual harmonic perfect fifths don't form a circle, they form a spiral that never closes. This complete set of all the notes is called the Chromatic Scale, or sometimes just the 12-tone scale. I've been recommending that you use slips of paper to generate random note names when trying to find and learn chords and scales on all 12 notes. Now that we've seen the cycle of fifths, we can use it to systematically work through all 12 notes instead. If I start here with B flat and perform some exercise on that note, I can then move up a fifth to F and onward through C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp, which is in the same position in the repeating pattern of keys as this B flat that I started with. This helps to make some sense of the different note names for the same keys on the keyboard. If I begin at F and move down in fifths, I get B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat, which sure looks like a B. If I begin at B and move up in fifths, I get F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp, which sure looks like F. A more practical way to view the cycle of fifths at the keyboard is to use octaves, like we did when finding scales, to keep the notes close together. Moving down in fifths from C to F to B flat is equivalent to moving up in fourths from C to F to B flat. And so we can play using the most common note names: C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat or G sharp, D flat or C sharp, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, and back to C. This is also a useful exercise. Turn the metronome on and play. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to see more.